Hi guys, welcome back to Amara's Kitchen. Yes, you all are welcome. You all are so amazing. Thank you guys for your support. If this is your first time you're coming across this channel, across this amazing kitchen, you are so welcome. Do not forget to hit that subscription button and turn your notification bell on so you'll be notified whenever I upload any recipe on this channel. You don't want to miss that. So guys, stay tuned. Finally, this recipe is coming up. It's been a while I made this recipe, but I have not gotten enough time to, edit and upload. But finally, here we are. This is cow head. Cow head Nkwobi. It's not like Isiewu. This is the cow head. So here I have the cow head. I'm washing them. Look at the eyes, the big eye. So this is the cow hair, so I divide them into two. So this is half part of it. Yeah, I cannot just make a whole cow head and just eat it with my family. That is just 6 people, so it's gonna be way too big. I can't do that. I don't even have that kind of big pot that will fit into a full cow head,
You're getting everything.
So guys, this is when we went to the farm to buy the cow. So it's really very big.
We got the head.
So after they kind of cut the skin, the flesh of the cow head. Yeah, so after cutting it up, it kind of looks a little bit. So as you can see on the sink, that's where the cow head is now. So I'll be taking it home and I will divide it into 2, and I will be using the half of it. Like you see, they already divided it for me, so I'll be using half of it for this cow head Nkwobi. So I cut it into 2. I'm using half today. Yeah, so, and I removed the brain. I showed you guys the hole where the brain was. I don't know if you guys saw that. So I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. So when you look down there, here is where the brain was, and I took that out. So I don't want it to get all smushed up in the water when I'm cooking them. So here we are after washing the cow head. This is what it looks like. It's very washed and clean right now. So I'll go ahead and put them inside the pot. All right, guys, the next thing I'll do is to season everything. I'll first of all add the onions. Yeah, and I'll add some ginger and garlic. Okay, you can use any seasoning of your choice. It doesn't have to be exactly what I'm using. Yeah, so I added the onions, garlic, ginger. I'll be adding red crushed pepper. I also add some stock cube, some rosemary leaf, then chicken flavor bouillon. I'll also be adding Big Mama's chicken flavor. And this is from leftover I used to make my jollof rice. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out. And I'll also be adding Benny, okay? Then thyme, go ahead and add half a teaspoon of thyme. Guys, I do not like measure my stuff, okay? So I add nutmeg. I just look at it and I know it's enough for me. Add some salt and then add enough water. Yes, you need a good amount of water. So this is not like regular meat that you just parboil and it's steam up some water. This one you need to add enough water to that. So I'm adding the cow head. So after adding 2, the pot is already filled up. I thought the pot is big enough for the cow head, but unfortunately, it wasn't that big. So I went ahead and dig up my old pot. You guys already know me on this channel. I do not waste stuff, and I do not throw away stuff just because they are old. No, if the pot is still very useful, and I don't feel like using them anymore, I just keep them somewhere, maybe in my garage, in my basement, somewhere around my house, because someday you might need it, okay? Just like today, I needed it, and it was so useful to me because the pot that I thought I was going to use was not big enough, and this one came so handy that I'm able to use it. So if I have thrown it away, I wouldn't be able to make this recipe today. So guys, I do not waste my stuff just because I don't throw them away just because they are old. But if they are like broken, something is wrong with it, then I can just throw them away, okay? So I'll cover that up. And here is the brain, the cow brain. Yes, I did not add them in there together because I don't want them to get so soaked and then smushed up that I can't even find them anymore. So I'll use this aluminum foil to wrap them up properly and make sure they're well secured and tight. Then I'll put them right inside the cow head that I'm boiling. Yes, and once it's cooked, then I'll bring them out. I will show you guys how I'll be using this once the meat is done. And halfway through, I stir the meat, I flip them over and make sure that they are properly cooked. So after cooking for the first 30 minutes, I flip the meat over to have it cooked the other way. So I cook this meat for a total of 45 minutes and they are properly cooked right now. So I'll go ahead and take them out from the sauce. And the sauce, the stock, the meat stock, I'll be using them for another recipe. So you have to subscribe to this channel so you'll be updated in every single recipe I will be posting on this channel. So this is the cow head, just getting them out of the hot stock. It's really hot, yes. You don't have to use your hands to do this. You can wait for it to completely cool down. Yeah, you know. But I just feel like, you know, getting it out. You know, it's not gonna hurt my hand that bad, even if it's hot, but I can deal with it. So don't do this. It's really hot, so you can be patient. So once I let it cool down a little bit, sorry guys. So once I let it cool down a little bit, I went ahead and deboned everything. I started taking the meat, separating the meat from the bone. Yes, because you don't have to like do the Nkwobi with this big stuff. You have to like gradually cut out all the meat from the bone. So I'll go ahead and continue with this process until I have all the meat removed from the bone as much as I can, okay? You don't want to waste any of that. Just make sure you get as much meat as you can get out of the cow head. So I'll be right back once I'm done. Here we are. I've separated the meat from the bone. Yes, so the bone is not useful anymore. I can comfortably throw that in the trash now that I've gotten enough meat. So the next step, I'll go ahead and, you know, cut them into little pieces. Not so small and not so big, just a reasonable size. Yes, that you still know that you're making cow head Nkwobi. So, and for the sauce, I'll go ahead and store them in this container. Make sure they are properly secured, and make sure you're using a container that has a lid. So go ahead and cover that up with the cover and store them in your freezer for future use. So go ahead and prep the rest of the ingredients. Here I have my bowl. I'll go ahead and add a cow edible potash, okay? So I'll add some water and then I will set that aside and let it melt. It takes like maybe 2 or 3 minutes to dissolve. Here I have oba and also have otaze. These are the necessary ingredients you need for this recipe. I'll go ahead and soak that up with hot water. When you soak your dry ingredients with hot water, it's gonna bring it back to like, not like it's gonna be exactly the way it was at the beginning when it was fresh, but it brings it closer to what you need. It brings it closer to that freshness that you're looking for. So this is the edible potash, the account. It has dissolved. I'll go ahead and use my coffee filter and make sure I don't have any sand going into that, you know, delicious cowhead Nkwobi that we are about to make. So I'll go ahead and add some palm oil. You need good tasting palm oil. You do not want to ruin your cowhead Nkwobi with tasteless oil or oil that tastes so bad. Some oil can be so horrible. So make sure you have a good tasting palm oil for this recipe, okay? Because just one thing can ruin everything from this recipe. So once I mix everything and it's looking so nice and the color has changed, that's what we should be aiming to achieve in this mixture right here. So now I'll go ahead and season them up. I'll be adding crayfish and 1 stock cube. Make sure you're using enough crayfish, okay? This is Scotch bonnet pepper. I chop them up, I add that, and I'm also adding half large chopped up onions. And the best part is ogiri. I don't really know if you can make this recipe without ogiri. You know, you'll be missing that taste. This ogiri gives this a little bit of a hint, like you don't want to miss. And here I have my ehuru. Some people call it ehu, some people call it ehuru. And the English name, I believe, is a Calabar nutmeg. If you know a different name for this, please let me know on the comment section, okay? So I'll go ahead and grind that up and I'll add that in as well. Add salt to taste. And here is the cow brain. So it has been sitting here for a while. So I'll go ahead and open that up and microwave this and warm it up because it has been sitting down there for like almost 20 minutes while I was cutting up the cow head. So now that I have warmed it up, it's warm and it's easy to mash. So I'll go ahead and use my mashed potato masher and mash this up very well. You do not want to throw this inside your mixture of the cow head. Yeah, you don't want to throw that in just like that. It's gonna be in a very large bumpy texture. You don't want that to happen. So if you have this, make sure you mash them up very well before adding them to your cow head mixture, okay? But if you don't have the cow brain, that's just fine, okay? That's okay. It's not a problem. If you don't have it, just don't worry about it, okay? So, but if you do have it, so I'm showing you guys how to add that up. So once you are done mixing everything properly, we'll go ahead and add the oba that we already washed. Yes, I already washed it very clean. Sorry guys, I just have to I like snacking on this oba a lot, so I have to take some for snacking. So mix that up as well. Once everything is well combined, just make sure that properly combined. The next step will be adding the cow head itself, the main course of this dish, the cow head. So like I told you guys, even though this is like half of it, even though this is half of the cow head, it's still too big for my family. Yes, just me and my kids, my 4 kids and my husband. I'm not even sure if my kids will be interested in this cow head. So it might be just me and my husband. So for that reason, I decided to divide it into 2 again. I'm just using half of the half cow head. Yes. So it's like dividing it into 4 right now. That's what I did. So I saved the other one in my Ziploc and put it in my freezer. I will use that whenever I need to. So I'm just adding the otaze that I soaked up earlier, washed it very well, and add that in because you need a little bit of bitterness in this Nkwobi. Yes, these are the stuff that make this Nkwobi delicious. So once everything is well combined, I place that on my stove. Yes, I place it on my stove. I'll go ahead and keep stirring this to warm it up. I like my cow head Nkwobi to be very, very warm. You don't want to be eating cold cow head. So after warming it up for like a minute or 2, it's ready to be served. Okay, there's nothing much, but before that, you have to taste your food. Whenever you're cooking, you have to taste it to know if it tastes good or not. And at this point, it tastes perfect. No too much salt. I don't need any other extra seasoning at this point. But if you feel like you need some salt, some pepper, please go ahead and add it up. But I'm fine. I'm good. It's so amazing. So guys, you can garnish this up with some onions. Yes, add onions. And you can also top it up with some otaze. You can use fresh otaze. If you have fresh otaze handy, that would be great, okay? But you know, I hardly get the hold of all these fresh vegetables because I live outside Nigeria. If I'm living in Nigeria, oh my gosh, I will be able to have access to all these fresh vegetables. So add onions, add scotch bonnet pepper, some otaze. Yeah, so you can also add any other thing of your favorite. Yeah, it's just fine. Do whatever that works for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I upload any video on this channel. God bless you all. See you on my next video. Bye bye.